Hey everybody, hi, welcome to Old Style Classics Baseball Cards. I'm Rob, and thank you for joining me on Old Style Classics Baseball Cards. Like, subscribe, and all that. So yesterday or day before, I got this giant box in the mail from Check Out My Cards, and a bunch of oddball stuff that I wanted to pick up, fill in some of the gaps that I have, like on these King B MSA. So I'm still doing my little MSA run. One of the other sets I was looking for was that Ziploc set that I have, but that might just be done by Dow Corporation, like they did the cards themselves, or maybe just the Players Association did those, because it doesn't say MSA or Topps or anything on those. But these are some of the MSA cards that I did show, that I want to show you some of the stuff that I picked up to fill in the gaps on some of these ones that I have missing. But first and foremost, as just in my previous video, did a special in honor of Willie Mays, who died today. It's 11:25 p.m. June 18, 2024, so earlier today. Just right up the road, 6, 7, 8 miles up the road in Palo Alto, Willie Mays died of a heart failure. He made a public statement yesterday to the San Francisco Chronicle about how he wasn't going to leave to go to that Rickwood Field game, I think on Friday, to see the Giants and Cardinals play. Must not been feeling good, but then he died the next day, which is today. And this is the only playing days card that I do have of him on hand, so that I could put in this video right quick. And that's this super cool. I love the back on that. Centering's not great, but the card's in great shape otherwise. Willie Mays in action, so that's a treasure. And you guys know I like old style classic cards, so of course I just was digging through this box here looking for some of those cards like that. What did I just say? Ziploc. And then I found a bunch of my minis, my old minis that I kept in these top loaders, and there's a 2013 Allen & Ginter Willie Mays. So that's one of my favorite sets, is Allen & Ginter, and that of course is a short print Allen & Ginter back. So just a quick honor of Willie Mays. And then of course Gypsy Queen. They made beautiful mini tobacco minis, which these are. And I think that's 2016, but that's a mini refractor, so that's something you don't get in Allen & Ginter, but Gypsy Queen's gone now. There's the great Willie Mays, one of the greatest of all time. And let's give him a moment of silence, a few seconds. Alright, thank you. Read that stuff if you like, please pause. Alright, so we're going to get on to doing these MSA things, but before I get to that really quick, I got a few other ones that will be like a to go along with this MSA run that I'm doing, which I don't have my Michael Schenkner and Associates Lou Brock card right on hand that I keep showing you what the Lou MSA stands for, but that's okay. I also picked up the Jiffy Pop. Now people call these proofs. That's what Check Out My Cards Continued, and with the little receipt said proof. But what I think these are is probably the uncut sheet that somebody just cut these out, perhaps. But I could be wrong, because maybe that's a lot of space. I'd have to look at my my Jiffy Pop uncut sheet that I do have and compare that to that, but I'm not going to do that right now. But I did pick this up because I never had one of these squared discs. They're cool, so I guess that's unpunched. I mean, you could hand cut it if you think you know what you're doing, but it would really need to be factory punched out by like one of those giant press cookie cutter things, but still that's super sweet. And we did a whole few things on Jiffy Pop, talked about them in multiple videos. If you go back and watch those Jiffy Pop video and then they update. So here's another update. MSA, one of my favorite oddball card makers, Michael Schechner and Associates, and that's what these King B cards are going to be as well. But I picked this up, and it doesn't really go with the other cards that I picked up from Check Out My Cards, which I'll do another update video on my Cracker Jack stuff, because that stuff is some Cracker Jack cards, and some oddball top stuff. But I'll do the oddball tops when I get around to doing tops. Alright, so there's that cool Jiffy Pop card. So we got that. Now this is a card that I've seen for the longest time. I'll give you an idea. I'm going to keep this here. And I didn't know anything about it. I never even heard of the game. I knew it was a game piece, but growing up during that time frame, I never heard of it. But I needed to get me one, and that is the Cadaco Major League Baseball. So that's like a playing piece. I guess you would spin the little thing, and the little thing would go around and land on a number, and you played some game. So I've seen these for years, but never got one. I assumed that it was going to be the size of one of these, or the size of one of these. But I guess I'm wrong. They're super big. They're kind of like the old ones, like the MSA disc, the Tasty Freeze disc, Isley's discs, and all that. So apparently it's not. So we'll take this out. There's the little Check Out My Card little receipt there that they give you. And as you can see, it's much bigger than that. I thought for sure this had to be MSA, but apparently it's not. So whoever made this game obviously had the equipment and capability of making a game board so they can make the cards that go with it. And this is 89 Cadaco. I guess this game's been around for decades, but I believe 89 was the first year that they actually started adding images. So I guess if you wanted to play that baseball game from Cadaco before 89, it was just like it would say Andre Dawson, give you some information on him, but no pictures. So 89, I believe, is the first year of pictures for these. Alright, thanks folks. So speaking of that, so I went and got one of these 77 MSA salesman samples, what I'm calling it, from Michael Schechner and Associates, which do these cards like the Jiffy Pop, King B, all the stuff I'm showing you lately. This one's the Reggie Jackson. I don't know where the Lou Brock is, but here's that Cadaco. So it's even bigger than that, and these cards are huge. These discs compared to a regular card there are pretty big, and so even that one makes that one look small. But I'm happy to have that in my collection. I've been eyeballing that card for probably decades, at least a decade, and just never saw one. And so there we go. So put that back in there, the Jiffy Pop. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do, folks, on these MSAs is what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through really quick again the cards that I do have. These, all the cards that are, now there may be a few more somewhere, like football one, but I don't know where they would be. They should be in here. So needless to say, other than the Andre Dawson that I have in my binder, which I'm not going to pull out because I ordered a second one, I ordered two Andre Dawsons, the 88, which is the first year, and then 2001 League Legends or something like that. Aside from those two cards, every King B card that I had, I bought when buying this jerky, beef jerky that's shredded up like chewing tobacco or dip. And they put in a little dip can, plastic dip can. And you can buy them at the gas station, 7-Eleven, Circle K, and stuff like that. You see is like $1.19 and maybe up to $2 near the end. Or you can get them in a bag of beef jerky from King B. King B is no longer around. And as you can see, it says baseball player trading card inside. These are, I love these discs. They're so, a lot of them are so simple, kind of ugly, and they're just wonderful. They just really throw me back to the pre-war dead ball era kind of cards. I love them. And so as you'll see, I didn't know anything about them the first year. Then I picked up the next few years a couple cards. Then I fell off in the 90s, for probably the early to mid 90s. Then I picked it up again. And then they did another set in 2002 I didn't even know about. And I believe that's when they wrapped it up in 2002. And I don't know when this company went out of business, because Jack Link's, you know, Jack Link's, the same size things, still carries on the tradition of doing the jerky in these cans. So you can see the original, you know, early on, very much like the King B. And then I guess later on they got a little fancier and put some on, probably right now, you know, the shinier stuff. Or maybe not, because I just recently picked this one up like a month ago. And so it's closer to this. So maybe they did this fancy version early on and decided to go backwards because it was expensive. So, you know, teriyaki. And it's just, I put my little Panini Kogan discs in there because they're the same size. So that's a good place to hold some of your discs, or they work good with like the 7-Eleven Slurpee discs and all that kind of stuff. And really quick, just show you what's in here. Is this dried up kind of sawdust beef jerky, and then the little wax paper advertisement would be underneath the jerky, and then under that would be the baseball card, I believe facing up on the King B. But that's basically what it was. And so we're gonna get to it. So here's the little jerky, then this thing would be on there. I don't know if that was facing up or down. So anyways, every card you see here is what I got. I think I might have one or two more football cards somewhere else that I'm not too sure about. But yeah, I don't know where they're at. If they were still around, they would be probably in Albuquerque at my brother's. But they came with these, and I kept these because I like the advertisement, just like that can there. So I have a few, and it's just telling you. So this is the baseball one. Congratulations, you've chosen healthy low fat snack, King B, blah blah blah. And now they've used different companies to do these King B cards. Most of them were MSA, and even after MSA had a falling out with the Players Association and stopped doing active player cards, they did the set that had the legends, like the Andre Dawson in 2001, because I guess they were retired and they could do it that way. But otherwise it moved on to like Pacific or Dunross or some of those companies. So here's the years that I got. So what you see is what I picked up at the grocery store. And then remember, a lot of this time I was a teenager and not spending money on this kind of stuff too often. So I got the 1990 Bo Jackson, and that is the third annual. So according to this is perhaps where I started, was the third year. to 91, being out of high school, Luis Polonia. And as you can see, so I know I'm doing an MSA run, and not all these cards are going to be MSA. But I'm going to stick with it. Just going to do a whole King B thing because it's very, very specific King B, and there's no reason to separate them out because the series went on consecutively from 98 to 2002. So I'm not going to split it by company and be like, oh, I'm going to do a Pacific episode. I'm going to do a Dunross episode. Oh, I'm going to do a Players Association episode, because there's some that they didn't even have a manufacturer on it. So I think the Players Association did it on their own somehow. But as you can see down there, I need to speed this up, folks. But there's MSA right on there. Right here. Cecil Fielder. See what I mean? Just simple. I love that green back. Beautiful, simple, somewhat ugly. I like this one a lot. I don't know why. It's just so simple. Reminds me of Tobacco or Colgan Disc or something. Just in color. So Wade Boggs there. As you can see, those first few sets are 24 card sets. I believe they slowly increased up to like 30, and then they started to go back down perhaps. Then they got a little fancy. Kind of a lightning, some kind of electric Ryan Sandberg card there. Now that's jumped up to 97, so we went from, so as you've seen, I didn't have any of the second year. I personally didn't pick up any of the first or second year. So 88, 89 I didn't pick up. So the first one I ever got was an 88, 80, 90. And so as you can see, this one here would have been a 92. So I bought 90, 91, and 92s. And then I never got another one until 97. So that Ryan Sandberg, and that's just the Players Association. So that's when I think in 96 MSA had a falling out with the Players Association. And so then the next year, the 11th annual, so I started buying again, and now it was done by Pacific. And then I thought maybe Pacific bought out King B, but apparently not. Tom Glavine, because MSA makes a showing here again. Then Tom Glavine in the 12th annual, and once again by Pacific, and that's pretty cool. They went a little simple there with the double image, kind of give it some motion. Hall of Famer Fred McGriff. If you want to see more detail on these folks, please go back and watch the MSA video on the King B discs, because I spent a lot of time doing that. So we're just gonna skip along. Pedro, Ray Langford, this guy. Pick a better player to show you the other side of the card. Carlos Beltran. Alright, Larry Walker, Hall of Famer, not a cheater. And we're still doing Pacific, and that is 90, 2000. So yeah, 2000. Jeremy Burnitz, Carlos Delgado, Warren Morris. So obviously I was really getting back into it in 2000. I told a story about where I picked these up at the gas station close to our apartment. Ben Grieve. There you go, Vladdy Daddy, Vladimir Guerrero, senior now, I suppose, 17 of 20. Congratulations for him getting a Hall of Fame. Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn. Scott Rowan, congratulations, new Hall of Famer in the recent last few years. Watched a couple videos about people saying that he doesn't belong in, and yet he's got better numbers than a lot of the guys just like him who are in. position wise and whatever. So Dan Wilson. Alright, then I got an extra one of these. So apparently I didn't keep them all, but I kept a few. So that kind of a little bit different. Maybe looks like the font's a little different, or maybe it's just got more ink on those. And then I do have one football one here with me, so go back to 1990. Not a football card collector, so that's why I don't have more of these. If I'd seen them, I probably would have picked some up as I go, because I will every now and then, because they're cool, and I like these oddballs. Still Steve Jordan there, and on that, so as you can see, the SA is very reminiscent of the MS that they did in the 70s, before it just said MSA, and you can see the similarity between the MS and the SA with the star. So I think they just changed the design logo, and that's like a giveaway for, or you can order a special edition Hot Wheels card there in blank backs. So I do have a few of those. Alright, so those are the cards that I had. Then I have the two Andre Dawsons, the first year and the 2001. It's basically the same image, just different card. So on check out my cards, I wanted to fill in the gaps as best I could. I might still be missing at least one card from one of the sets, so we'll have to do that, double check. But I got as close as I can get. I went in to check out my cards, and I just ordered a bunch, like a few, or one or two from the years they had available that I didn't have, because it's just easier to combine all the shipping when you do a check out my cards. So I did get a second Andre Dawson, because of course I'm gonna get one if I can. And then there is one oddball baseball subject card in here that has nothing to do with these sets, other than it was given away by King B. But I ordered one of those because I was like, oh, that's cool. So they were probably kind of being like Cracker Jack, maybe doing some other cards besides the football and the regular baseball players, to get maybe kids to buy, and you'll see that when I get to it. So there's the first year, 88. Andre Dawson, Hall of Famer, and I never had any of these. I'd never even seen them. The second annual. So, of course, I'm going to try to get the best player I could for a reasonable amount. And that is the Nolan Ryan. So, it's a lot. It's got more pop. Let's just say that. Kind of orange soda pop. The back's pretty cool. So, Mr. Nolan Ryan, Hall of Famer. Great. As you can see, it's still MSA. But I did pick up two because they had Wade Boggs. So I was like, yeah, I got a couple Wade Boggs. Can't go wrong with Wade. There you go, Wade Boggs collector. Wade Boggs fan. Alright, so on the second series, and you can see you get some stains from that jerky. Now here's the other one. This is just like a Happy Meal or something. When they weren't doing regular baseball cards, they were doing kind of kiddie cards, but it had to do with baseball. And this is the Legends of the Game. It's kind of an Allen and Ginter like kind of goofy thing that they did, where they put out this kind of make-believe team, and it's about dinosaurs. So Bob Beanie, Scaleman. I don't know why it says bubblegum. I don't think King B did bubblegum. I think that's just kind of like part of whatever this set is. Maybe one was bubblegum, one was jerky, one was, I don't know. I can't find very little information about this. All I know is it is King B. So it even says King B right there. And it's the same size. So you assume that it would come in one of those things. But it's some dinosaur plain, kind of like a Pog maybe. Maybe Pogs were popular then. Maybe it's something the kids were into at the time. So they did this imaginary team, like or imaginary baseball players if they were dinosaurs, and like this guy's on the Pittsburgh Primates, which doesn't make any sense. He's not a gorilla or a monkey. But still, the Bubblegum Company Legends of the Game series. So maybe they did bubblegum. I don't know. Maybe they did like a beef jerky, like one of these cans, but it was like shredded gum, kind of like a ripoff of Big League Chew or something. So if anyone knows about that, let me know. Like, subscribe, comment. Any of that stuff would help me out. Now I did buy a couple from sets I already had just because I was like, oh, I'm gonna get this guy because the price was good. Obviously, you know, can't go wrong with King Griffey Jr. I know it's got a little chipping and stuff going on there, but these cards were circulated. They were meant to come, you know, they bang around in there a little bit. And I like that kind of stuff. I mean, obviously I don't want a lot of damage and I would prefer a better card, but for the price that we're selling it at, I'll take King Griffey Jr. So that's sweet. 24 card set there. Then the next year, I don't have enough Carlton Fisk in my collection. Hall of Fame catcher, played with the Sox, but of course he's most famous for Boston. But when I was a kid, I knew him as a White Sox. It's kind of pull for him. I wasn't a White Sox fan, but he's a good player. I liked Carlton Fisk. So the 22-24 on that fourth annual set there. Then I have the Wade Boggs one of this year, so this is an extra card from that 92 season. But heck, Nolan Ryan, yeah, I'll take Nolan Ryan. Probably the top card in any of these sets is probably going to be the Nolan Ryans. Maybe King Griffey Jr. or Bonds if he's in them. But there you go, Nolan Ryan. Alright, now we're getting to the stuff that I've never seen before even. So this is actually a really cool design. This is a 93 Ryan Sandberg. So it's the 6th annual. I like that. I like the dark cards with the yellow. That's good contrast there. Hall of Famer Ryan Sandberg. We hope he's doing alright. And look at the pop on the back. Still a 24 card set. And it's still MSA. So definitely stepped it up with a little more attractive card all around. You know me, I do like these kind of plain Jane cards for the reasons I've told you, but I do like nice looking cards too, and that's pretty nice looking for that time. I dig it, and I really like the back. It's got a lot of pop to it. Alright, then next, another year I never seen, Hall of Famer Crime Dog Fred McGriff, 7th annual. Reminds me a little more of the football ones they did. That's cool. It's got a little glove there. So no super bells and whistles, but still pretty cool card. I love that purple, high school colors there, and the purple back, MSA still. So 94 still hadn't had any problems with the Players Association yet. They basically tried to renege on their contract they had with the MSA. Because MSA was like because this was the original deal, they made a contract where they got like 50% of whatever the company like King B ordered $5 million worth of these cards to put in their product, and MSA supplied them to them, and then they took their 2.5 million, let's say, and then Players Association would get their 2.5 million and distribute it however they do that. And then they came along and was like, oh, you know, he's getting old or something like that. We don't know if they're going to still be doing it, because maybe MSA was talking about maybe getting out of the game. And so the Players Association, oh, we'll give you 10% and you can keep doing it until you're done, but we got to get ready. And MSA was like, that's not the agreement. We have a contract. And so I guess that all went to court. I don't know how that was settled. If anyone knows, let me know, because I'm fascinated with the MSA. I'd sure like to write a book or get a book. You know, I wonder if he's still alive. So there it is, MSA still 95. And as you can see there, that is the 8th annual. This one's kind of cool. It's kind of a bat look to it, but of a different angle, almost like looking down on the barrel. And very, you know, like 87 tops. I like that. Still got some pop on the back there. I think Roberto's in the Hall of Fame, but superstar nonetheless. So that's pretty cool design too. I like that. I didn't have one of those. And then we get to 96. So this is starting, I think, where the problems are starting around this time. 9th annual collector's edition. Randy Johnson, but it's still MSA, so we're getting there. Let's use the glove on the back this time. And 5/24 Hall of Famer Randy Johnson. So they're getting a little more 90s looking, aren't they, people? A little more flash, less old school, more stadium clubbish, full disc images. And hey everybody, is that Frank Thomas? You mean the Big Hurt? More like the Big Hunk. Yeah, my wife's not in here to enjoy that joke. Good old Frank Thomas, Hall of Famer. Of course. 14/24 there. And then, and like I said, that jumps from 96, because as you've seen in the other ones I already showed, that I had like the, I may not have gotten a 97 or like they may not have had a 97 for me to buy, so that might be the one I'm missing. And then you jump ahead here to 2001. So this is the year they did these and the Legends one, which you can go back to the other video and see the Andre Dawson Legends of the Game. So that 2001, they did this set, which is pretty. And this is no longer MSA. This one's done by Playoff. And they're up to a 30 card set. So King B is just dealing with, hey, we want cards, we don't care who does them, but they're obviously going to try to do the best deal they can. So for the regular annual set, you know, they moved on and have Playoff. I don't know who that is. I mean, I've seen it before. Do the cards for them. But then like the Legends cards of the old players not in the Players Association at the time, maybe, they went back and I believe had MSA do them. So they have like 3 sets. They have this set. They have like the league, like the Legends, or kind of stars, legendary stars, like for maybe non Hall of Famers at the time, like Andre Dawson. And then I think they had old time players, which I believe was done by MSA as well. So they had like 2 done by MSA, I'm fairly sure, maybe just 1, but possibly 2, and then another set done by Playoff. Hall of Famer there, nice looking card, and their regular set. And then I had no idea they did I thought 2001 was the end, but apparently they have one more left in them, and it's a pretty cool looking card. 15th annual collector's edition, and it's super cool looking card, and they switch companies again unless they own Playoff, I don't know. It's another Hall of Famer, Jim Tomei there. 2002, fancy 15 behind him. Kind of a starburst behind him, and that burgundy or blood red. And this one was done by Dunross. So, and then I'm like 99% sure that's where it ended, was in after this year. So there it is, folks. So I guess what I should do, I'm going to pause you for a minute. We're going to see which sets what years we have or don't have. So hold on. Alright folks, thanks for hanging in there again. So apparently I reached my goal. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Let's do this again. First, second, plus the bonus one on the second year. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th. So there it is. I achieved my goal of picking one up from each of the regular sets, for each of the annual sets of the King Beef Jerky, and one from one of the Legend set, and then one of these rando ones. And the only thing left for me is to find out if they did a second Legend set this year. Then if I get one card from that set, then I'll have one card from each one of the that I know of the King Bee Jerky discs. And regardless of that, I do have one card from each annual set. So there it is, folks. That's super cool. I'm happy about that. There's an update to my MSA King Bee Beef Jerky. And so thanks for joining me. Rest in peace to Mr. Willie Mays. I wonder if he's in that one of those Legend sets. So that'll be a nice one to pick up. Alright everybody, thanks for joining me. Peace out. Bye.